Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a review of Civolution, the 1 to 4 player solo and competitive Euro of Empire and Civilization building. And disclaimer that I got a review copy of this one. In Civolution, players are managing their tribes, moving them from encampment to encampment on the board, building buildings, exploring tiles, while also activating actions through dice and gaining powers and bonuses through cards played into their empire to advance themselves, trying to earn the most victory points in 4 rounds, 4 eras, with 9 different scoring categories. So let's discuss 5 key things to know about Civolution. My number 5 point, which is the least important to know, but still important to where I wouldn't include it on the list, and that's the solo bot, and this is a pro for my taste. So the bot is super easy to resolve. You just flip the top card of its deck, it tells you what it's going to do, and usually the actions only take a few moments to figure out. And you build up actions until the total of these blue and red lights at the bottom are 4 each, which then triggers a reset, bringing the round closer to its conclusion. It's the same thing a player does when they pull back all their dice. But the bot interacts and competes with you in all the key things. It takes over territory, it moves around, and it's pretty intelligent because it pays attention to what the big scoring focuses are for the game, and it tends to hone in on those. Now, you do have to roll a die for its actions sometimes. It does have a little bit of priorities you have to get used to, especially for movement, but compared to a lot of automa systems I've played, this one is pretty dang smooth. My number 4 point, which is also a pro, is the endgame scoring and the era scoring, which gives the game a ton of variety. So in each game, you take the 9 different types of endgame scoring, and you randomly pick 4 of them to be scored for major points at the end of each era, which gives you a major focus in your gameplay, really forces you to change up your strategy. And even going beyond that, some of the other categories are worth more points in the game, so you really have great variety in what is valuable and what is not, what type of game you want to play. And that's not mentioning the insane variety in events for each round, and in the tiles you can gain, and the goals you can look for, and the card draw. There's just so much to bring you back to this game time after time. None of the games I have played have felt too similar to each other. Really great variety overall. Next, my number 3 point, also a pro for the game, is the board play and the territory expansion. And this one's also a pro for my taste because it gets that civilization feel down in a pretty straightforward way. You can procreate and get more people on the board. You can migrate them into different areas, gaining victory points for doing so. You can explore the tiles near you, which are going to be different every game. I mean, this entire map is modular and different every game. You can build out boats to give yourself more flexibility in trade and movement. You can get settlements down. And the competition with other players or the bot is also smooth and well done. And this is not a game of combat, to be clear. You can move in and push other people out of spaces, but that actually hurts you more than them, and then they can just move to another place anyway. So if you're looking for a Civ game with extermination, that doesn't really exist in Civolution, but in terms of the board manipulation and trying to gain majorities and control areas, that's here in spades, and it's definitely very interesting to play through. My number 2 point is also a pro, and those are the cards and chits that you get to install on your player board for bonuses and points. So as you go through the game, you're getting these different cards representing different achievements and inventions and things for civilizations, and they have increasing costs the later you play them in the game, but they also earn you more victory points. And there's just a ton of variety in powers and bonuses and abilities, and that combined with the different era scoring, again, really gives the game great replay. But in a cool system I've ever seen before, you slot these things into this little display here, and they're worth more and more victory points the higher up you play them, but that also makes them more expensive to play. And then you're also getting bonuses as you fill in some of the rows. So it brings in the normal stuff you want out of a Civ game with tech trees and advancements and all of that, but also gives you a really cool spatial puzzle and gives you lots of ways to chase victory points. I think it's clever as heck overall, although one big caveat, in some games you're going to get cards that just naturally combo with the resources you already have access to, or match the era goals really well, and in other games you won't get things that fit together as smoothly. So it is a little bit swingy, but it doesn't take away how clever and enjoyable this overall system is. Finally, my number 1 point, the most important to know about the game, is the core action system with the dice and resets. And this is unfortunately my only mix for the game, because how it works is when you reset your dice, which you have to do when you're running low to get actions back, you assign them randomly to the rolled values. Well, I got one of each, that's interesting. And then on your turn, you combine 2 of them, 2 values, to perform whichever action is located at that spot. So figuring out which actions to take is really cool, and these actions can also be upgraded boosted up to twice to make them even more powerful. That's great too. And to be fair, there is a lot of mitigation. You get ideas that let you modify the die rolls. You can even get focus tokens that let you use them as a wild for any die value. But that doesn't change the fact that sometimes you'll roll well in games and sometimes you won't. And that's not mentioning other luck, like sometimes you get these bonus actions, but you have to roll a die, and yes, you can spend to modify it to get it down to what you need. But again, that is resources being spent to counter your bad luck. Now, don't let the mix fool you. I still love this action system. It is immensely interesting and really challenges you to figure out how to work the best you can with imperfect resources. But I think it is also by far the most frustrating aspect of the game and the one that'll push people who are randomness averse away. Overall, you might want to check out Civolution if you like complex Euros. There's a lot of fun stuff going on here. If you like Civilization games, although again, it doesn't have combat and some things you might think are hallmarks of that genre. Or if you like Feld games like Castles of Burgundy, it's not quite identical, but the dice activation here is similar. On the other hand, if you get intimidated by games with lots of action choices, there can be a lot to digest here, so it might not be for you. And if you don't like luck in your Euros, this is one that has a pretty heavy dose of luck, especially for a longer Euro game, so you might want to avoid it in that case. And if you want to see the game in action, I have a partial solo play already on the channel. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.